Oh, we are all over the place, really, with this video. This is my review on England versus Switzerland. England don't make it any easy, do they? It's been 2 days and 3 days actually now, and I'm so proud of this squad. I'm so proud of this squad. The doubters, the haters, and I hope England fans are confident now. You know, I saw a lot of England fans after the game in Germany are happy. Here in England, we're not happy because we're watching it from. But if you were there in that stadium, you would have loved it. I'm not saying you love the brand of football, but you love the moments. And that's what I love about this squad. We're actually having moments now in the knockouts. We didn't have this in the group stages that made it really bad. But the squad's clicking. It's actually really clicking. There's a lot of issues, big issues still with Harry Kane, and I think he needs to be stepping down at the end of this tournament. But that's something that needs to be talked after the tournament. We need to keep him. I can't see him being dropped. It is annoying, but there is a potential there. You maybe put, I think maybe an Ivy Tony might be the option. A lot of people said Ollie Watkins, but there's not been enough minutes there. Ivan Tony's been on for the last 2 games, and he's been good when he's come on, and he's been a burst of energy that we need. So I would love to have him just a little bit forward ahead of Harry Kane. And yeah, I cannot really say how I feel really about how this tournament's gone. At the end of that review, I kind of mixed it up with the Turkey and England game because I didn't want both to be reviewed until now. So we can go into it a bit more. So let's talk about the England game a bit more than the Dutch game because it is the England review video. I'm going to be honest with you. England are scraping the barrel once again. This is not what we want, but it is going to happen, unfortunately. At this point now, I don't think it changes. I think we will get to this final, but it will be very hard. The Dutch have been not on great form, I don't think, in these knockout rounds, be honest with you. I think they were very good against Romania, but that was obviously going to happen if you saw who they were up against. Romania just kind of crumbled, and Turkey gave them a run for their money. That's the honest answer. They can't be happy with that performance, the Netherlands, and we can't be happy with our performance. So I think both teams have been. I think the Dutch have been actually getting worse as the tournament goes on. I think England have kind of got better, but it's not. It's not like we can be angry with the performance because the players played very well. It's just the tactics. The manager has to leave, unfortunately, at the end of this tournament. I don't think Gareth is going to have a job. It might be Jurgen Klopp. That's a rumour. So it might actually happen. I hope that is our new manager. But yeah, it's clear that we're on our last legs now with Gareth Southgate. This will be his last tournament, surely. There's no way. Possibly there might be a way of him being still manager after this tournament, but I think a lot of people can't believe the bullshit anymore. I can't. I don't think any England fan can. The only problem that I think we're going to have against the Dutch is they're going to want to win this in the full 90. They've not gone the full way. People haven't been able to break our defence down very easily. I say that on a pinch of salt because twice now we've conceded, but we found a way twice. 3 times if you include the Slovakia game. But I think, honestly, we're going to need a lot more approach going into these next games. And I think we need a new we need changes. We need to change the formation again. I think we need 2 up front, either Foden or Ivan Tony with Kane. And then maybe just keep the midfield. I think Bukayo Saka on the wing has been brilliant. I don't think he's had a bad game since the Denmark game. Um, and yeah, if we can approach the way we did um, against Switzerland for 70 minutes, I think we could win this game very easily. The Dutch have been not very good at teams that have high pressed them as much. They've not had that since the Austria game. And if you look to the Austria game, the way that they found them. Sorry, I should see what was going on out there. But if you look at the game that, and we talk about the Dutch because they are our opponent now, but there's elements of we should be prepared for the Dutch. We should have had them in the round of 16. They could have been one of the teams we had in the round of 16, but late drama changed that up. So there's an element here that Gareth does have a plan in the back of his head, but he's going to have to use whether he's going to use that round of 16 plan that he had against the Netherlands originally, or is he going to use a new plan? And I think we're the most confident team at penalties. I think we're the most confident team going the distance, actually, out of any of the teams, apart from the French. But I think we need to win this game in normal time. We need to win this game with 3 goals or 2, with a clean sheet, and actually stop going the distance. Because if we keep going the distance, teams like Spain, teams like France will know that, and they want to defend that. And that might be our plan. Maybe it is the plan. We normally, as England person, normally we give it all in the first 90, and then we're struggling in extra time and penalties. But it's different. It's very different. This squad's got confidence, got experience, and I know a lot of people don't like how we've been playing, but it's tournament football in some aspects. The disappointment I think a lot of people are coming away with is there is players that aren't in this squad that should have been in this squad, and I'm like, yeah, you can say that, but I mean, we got to. I think a lot of people forget about the experience of our team. I think with Gareth Southgate, this is we've had this before the last Euros, but this time players with like less caps have been playing better for England. If you think about it, Cole Palmer barely got like any caps, but he's still very well. Olivier, Gainey's been probably the best young player in our squad, and that's no offense. I mean, this is Saka's third tournament, Foden's third tournament as well. You know, I'll be honest with you. Sorry, I've got to switch these buttons. I'll be honest with you. I'm not angry with how we've won the games. It's just a matter of how do we beat the Dutch. And I think it's just scoring more goals, being more threatening, being what we've been in that game in the first half and doing it for 70 minutes and shutting this Dutch defence down, because they've not been great, the Dutch. I'll be honest with you, they've been semi-decent at best, but the Dutch are here. We've got a bit of history, 96 with them, and they are going to want to get revenge on that. They want to win their second Euros since 88 as well in Germany. They want to repeat history. They've been, that's in the back of their minds. And both teams are in a similar boat. Both have won a tournament, and ever since then, they haven't won it for years. The Dutch haven't won it in over 30, and we haven't won it over in 60 years. So both are going to be wanting this more than ever. It reminds me of probably 2010, not with the amount of trophies, but how much it meant. Uruguay hadn't won the World Cup since before the Second World War. I think after the Second World War they won one more, or I don't know. But Uruguay and Netherlands, you had Netherlands in a similar boat in '88. They wanted to win their first World Cup, and Uruguay wanted to win their first World Cup in almost, I think it was like 40 years at the time, or 50 years. I don't know by the top of my head. But yeah, it doesn't. For me, whatever happens now, from this point onwards, it's going to be positives for England. You know, even if we get knocked out, we will get a new manager. I think that's needed, a reset. But if we are to get to the final, we have to support this England squad. We can't be negative. I'm getting annoyed with fans still being negative, even though we got semis. Not great football. We don't want great football, because if you go for great football, we've seen it. Germany, Italy, they're already out because they're playing attacking football. Defensive football actually kind of works. And sadly, it's working for us. It's very scammy and very horrible, but we need to just keep under the radar a bit still. Now, there is that question of if we get 3 or 4 goals, and it won't happen. I don't predict the score to be that. But if we get 3 or 4 goals against the Dutch, what can we complain about? What can we actually complain about? We can play badly and we can still win 3 or 4 goals, I think. I genuinely think this Dutch team's not actually that good. I think there's elements that the Dutch can attack us on and are really better at us. But what we saw last game is we do better against attacking teams. All the teams we've got from now to the end of the tournament are attacking teams. And if we come against, we came against the Switzerland, and you saw how physical we were. That's the most physical we've been. And it might have been the plan to just hold back the first 4 games and then just go for it from the quarterfinal onwards. It weren't easy. We should have finished the job in the second half. We should have probably got 2 goals in the second half, but we're not been that team yet. But it could generally happen again. And I know fans won't be happy. I know fans are angry. But why? Why are you angry? Yes, you can say the play's awful. But we cannot be angry we're in a semi-final. We shouldn't be. But we are. And to come against a Dutch team who I think are very similar to us, that are still learning on the job like us, we take that. And we should have taken the Dutch in the round of 16. We are going to have them now. And I'll be honest with you, I think we've got a good chance, a very, very good chance of beating this Dutch team. And you can't say that this is going to be a bad performance from England, because I think it's going to get better, but it's going to be very difficult. I don't know how we'll beat the Dutch, but I see it happening. I think we are going to get to this final. I think we are maybe going to win this, but it all very much depends on tonight. If France go through and we go through, we've got a very good chance that it's going to be a very boring final and it will be won by England. But Spain have had the experience with this, a lot of young players in that Spanish team. England, France have got the most experience. A lot of people want Netherlands, Spain, and that's obvious because they've both been more entertaining. But the French have been working on this squad since 2016. We've been working on our squad since 2018, so we got 2 years behind. Both teams are starting to catch up, man. They're both the 2 favourites of the tournament. And you kind of expect that these 2 are going to get to the final. But I wouldn't doubt the Dutch, I wouldn't doubt the Spanish, but I think Spain are going to have the biggest issues with the experience getting to the final. The Dutch have been working towards their squad since 2016 as well. If you remember, they missed out on 2 tournaments back to back. That was a major shock in 2016 and 2018, and then they came back in 2020, and they were not great. They got knocked out in the round of 16, and then they got knocked out in the quarters, and now they've got the semis. So it's getting there for the Dutch. And it's the same for the English. You know, we're getting there. We are very close, I think, to a tournament win. We will win a tournament in some point in the next 15 years. There's no doubts, because the talent and the quality of these players, there is no way you can say that we're not going to win a tournament. We've got better quality than we've ever had. And I think when we get to this semi, we've got to be confident. There will be nerves, but we've got to be confident. We're in a semi-final. With out of 24 nations, we're one of the final 4, and it could be final 2 on Sunday. And you know, it's been a very quick turnaround. You know, tonight's the first semi-final, and I'm looking forward to it. And I hope it is Spain who go through, because I do want a Spain-England final. I think that would be an amazing final. You got the ultra favourites, England, who've not been playing very well, against a young, talented, and now, you know, tournament experienced Spanish team. That would be an amazing final, actually. More better than probably France and Netherlands get to that final. If France and Netherlands get to the final, I think that'd be even more boring than England being in the final, actually. But yeah, I don't want any fans to be negative next game if we get through. It's not going to be great football. People need to understand, from the first game, we were not brilliant, but we found a win. We found a draw for the second two. They're just awful. I don't know how we found a draw against Slovenia 0-0, and I don't know how we kind of lost against Denmark, because Denmark kind of switched off in the second half, and just, you know, we switched off. It was just such a very boring game. But what I will say, as an England fan, I'm proud of this squad. I'm proud of the players, not the manager. The manager can do whatever he wants. These players showed heart in the game. We've not had that all tournament. Now they're showing heart. You know, the confidence from the Slovakia game has really shown. They're going to have even better confidence now that they've just got through a penalty and win every penalty. We've never done that at any penalty shootout, I don't think. And there is a feeling now that we are getting there. And I said this, it's not coming home yet, but it could do. And I've said this all tournament. I've said this all bloody tournament. It could do. Because we may not win a tournament in style. We don't have to. Teams haven't won tournaments in style. I'll tell you now, Argentina's Copa America that they won with Messi a few years ago was not in style. Greece 2004, they didn't do very well, but it wasn't in style. I mean, there's certain elements from what's it called? You know, there is certain elements from who is it? There's certain elements from that. Which team was it? Spain 2010. That wasn't good. It wasn't actually amazing. So, you know, they were good. They were amazing to win the whole thing, and they kind of switched it around. But in the group stage, they weren't great. So, you know, teams do better. And I've said this, that we'll do better when we get to the knockouts. We should do. But, yeah, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult for England now. 2 games to potentially the champions. They could be champions 2 days before my birthday. I didn't think I was going to see at this tournament. I straight after that Denmark game, I was fuming. I was angry. I was confused. But every game from then has gotten better. You cannot say we have not gotten better since that game. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But every game, they've just taken steps. You know, we've got to get past that team in certain, you know, element. And we were lucky round 16. We were not lucky in this game. We were clinical and better. The Slovakia game, we were lucky. We were very, very lucky with the quality we had. But we weren't lucky again. Can't say that. The Swiss switched off. They were bad at penalties. Why are people banning on about England? And now, gladly, people waking up to France being bad as well. That's just been my ban on. But it's still open. Spain have got very young quality and haven't had the experience at semis and finals yet. So this is going to be a huge step for them against a really strong French team. France, yes, they've been bad, very bad, same as England, but the experience in that French team is going to overthrow that Spanish team if they're not careful tonight. And you could say the same with the Dutch. They haven't got experience. We've got experience now at these tournaments. The Dutch haven't. They've not been to a semi-final since 2014. 2014. That's 10 years ago. So they've wanted this, but they've not had it. And we've got to take this advantage. We've gone to finals. We've gone to semis. We know how it's like to be knocked out in a semi-final. We can't let that happen. And again, it's a very similar team. I think Croatia 2018... And I think this is very similar to our 2018 tournament, very much, but worse than 2018. And what should have happened in 2018. And yeah, I see similarities between that semi-final between Croatia and Netherlands, because Croatia have got good players, but we could still beat them. But who knows? Who really knows? Anyway, this is going to be it. I really have hoped you guys have enjoyed these reviews. I'm going to keep doing them. We've got 2 more videos now for potentially England and 2 more for the tournament. We're also going to look back at my actual original predictions, both my original predictions, because I want to see how I did overall for the whole tournament at the end. But, you know, I think, to be honest with you, this has been the best content I've made because it's just me talking to you guys and just reviewing it. But yeah, hopefully England are in the final on Sunday. Hopefully it is Spain. That's my prediction. I said it in the last video that it will going to be a Spain-England final and it will go to penalties and Spain are going to win. I think that's going to happen. I don't think England are going to win the penalties. I'm going to change that now. It might change on the weekend, so we'll do another prediction when we get the finalists. But yeah, what I will do is I'm going to do the 2 reviews separately, because what the problem I'm having is I'm trying to keep up with all the games and I can't remember them off the top of my head. Should probably write notes and watch the highlights. But what I'm going to do is going to do this semi-final review later tonight for the France-Spain game, and then we'll do one for England-Netherlands tomorrow if England go through. I'm probably going to be very drunk tomorrow, so bear that in mind when I do the review. So yeah, it's either going to be really angry Cameron or a surprise and shock, because it's just been like that. And I've got to say, I've loved the shock. I love that England haven't been dominated, because if we were dominating, would it be enjoyable? Would it actually be like great football? You know, it is what it is. We're through to the semis. We'll see you tomorrow and tonight when I do my live review on England. And I'm going to do it on Instagram and then save it and then post it on YouTube, because I think that would be the best way of doing it. But yeah, France, Spain, England, Netherlands. I've said Spain, England final. Spain win the whole tournament. I think that's very fair. Anyway, see you guys soon. Bye-bye.